Well, it's 5:30. We'll call this meeting to order. Thanks for all of our guests. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Do I have a motion by Jamie? Do I have a second?
Yep.
I have a second by Aaron. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. First one up, Keith.
Let's do this. Thank you for letting me be number one on the list. I appreciate it. We don't gotta stay for the whole thing if I don't feel like it. So I talked to a couple of you about this, and I just threw something quickly together, but the history of the hockey club, I don't know, this is just like a small pet peeve of mine, and so it's something that we can improve. I always feel like there's opportunities to do better, right? I'm proposing something here tonight. You guys got to do it? No, but I want you to at least consider it. And so the way that we elected in the past was like centered around election, right? And so I'm just going to skip ahead here. This is what I understand our rules are on the way voting, and I'll explain why I'm actually here after doing this. So voters have to be present to vote, number one. Number two, you used to have a kid in the program to be a voter. I think that may have changed at some time to where if you're a coach in your program, you can vote without a kid. I don't know if that's true or not. You guys probably know that better. But I know that you have to be a member. 2 votes per family, and you have to have dibs hours completed to be able to vote, right? This is what our ballot looks like. It's simply like this. We have 4 seats open. You write down your names. So now, why am I bringing this up today? The way Keith has voted for the last forever, because I've never liked this, is I would write down only 1 or 2 names every year. Why? Because the voter differential, we don't have any differential. Literally, you could have a vote and you could have somebody lose by 20 votes. And is that, are we making the best choice, right? And so if I really love one person, I would make sure that I only voted for that person because I don't want to give a vote to somebody that's they're kind of voting, right? So why do we do the voting process we've done is number one, it's paper copy, we can count it, it's secure, we understand it, and it's just, it's just the way we've always done it. So just doing some quick research online, I found, this thing called Election Buddy, and I'll get into that in a second. So my theory was, before I found this, but what are the issues is that we're actually not choosing between candidates. It's literally a popularity contest. There's not a choice between X candidate and Y candidate at all. There's no differentiation. Second thing is the vote count differential between winners is probably relatively low. Like Sam, I don't even know what it is. You guys counted last year, but I'm just gonna make up a number. But I'm gonna say the winner might have been like the last place winner might have been like 170 votes, and the next loser might have been 165. Is that really, are we really making a good decision there as a club? So, my idea was that there's gotta be a way to do some form of a runoff vote. And how can we do that? And there's two solutions to runoff votes that I'm aware of. I'm not an election person, so you guys might have more of this. So, you could do a runoff vote. The way a runoff vote works is you run the election, and whoever's got the lowest vote counts, out. You rerun the election. Whoever's got the lowest vote counts, out. And you do that repeatedly until you have it down. You got a picture of a paper ballot function, that would be a disaster for the club. Never worked, right? We couldn't run that, and I mean, that might take a month. So, the other option that I'm aware of is that you could have the highest vote getter, winner, they won. Now you vote for the remaining people. Repeat the vote. Now, whoever the next winner of the next election is, repeat the vote. So you can do the alternative instead of run-up. So you can have it either way. Now, so that brings me to this in the end of my slideshow. And I only printed 2 copies. I figured you guys could pass them around. I apologize for that. So we use this software called Menti. It's really fun. Like you can sign in, QR code, and you can do whatever you want, do anything you want. So when I started thinking about it, it's like, all right, is Menti Quiz the thing that we want to use? I don't know, probably not. This Election Buddy is really cheap. I sat through a demo this week. Sam was able to join me on the demo, so she was familiar with it. For one election, it's $29. So we're not talking about something expensive. For every rerun, it's half price. And so if we ran like 8 elections in one night, you might have a $100 bill. Nobody's counting ballots. It's just over with, right? The benefit of Election Buddy, and there's several we found that are alternatives, but like they get into things that like are pretty intense, like voter registration, things that we don't even have in America for our general elections, right? So you have to prove, validate, all this stuff. I don't think that's necessary. This is a very simple format that they would get an email while they're at the thing. We can discriminate voters, like we get a voter registry. Nope, you're not allowed to be in it because you didn't turn your dibs out, which we wouldn't have them on the list. They wouldn't get the email, they wouldn't be able to vote. They would be able to vote literally right on their phone, and then literally immediately the results would be posted. Sam or whoever's running the election could reduplicate the election real quick, resend it out. You know, you can start at the meeting. I don't know, like we can look at what it looks like. So it's pretty simple. I just feel pretty strongly that the way the election process just is, it's just silly to me, and I felt that for a really long time. And now that I've gotten to the place where I'm at, it's like I feel like we can do better, and this year's a solution for that. So I just kind of want to propose it to you guys. So that's all I have. Anybody got any questions for me on Election Buddy? So I didn't go deep on it. And I can send you whatever you want, to have a proposal, pricing's in there.
Sam sent that to watch that 15-minute video,
Yep.
you know, out to all of us, so.
And then in our meeting, he did say that we could test it out up to 5, so we would have time to like test it to see if there's any work or anything to get worked out, and we're gonna make sure it's open until it
Post an election.
posted.
You got 5 users, 5 different people voting just to try it, like as a trial. You can run as many times with 5 people for free. So
I guess the big thing is we'd have to, our bylaws, it's in our bylaws, that's how it's wrote, everything. We'd have to get a lawyer to write up new bylaws to get that changed.
I said in the bylaws?
I looked, there's no way a voting process way in the bylaws that I could find.
It just says here in the bylaws, because I looked at it, because I was curious how it was brought up. Voting rights are for members in good standings with co-op and who are over 18 years of age, did not quite the age. 1 vote per member, however, voting rights shall be limited to 2 votes per member. There will be no proxy voting permitted. Members must be present at the annual meeting to cast their vote for it.
So it's silent on the collection method of ballots, and so
That's how I thought it was. We can choose any election process.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean, honestly, I think down the road we could look at it, but I mean, behind the 8 ball right now, I think I honestly think you need to have a lawyer look at it and just make sure that, you know, I just don't want to get us in trouble, you know.
Can I add one small thing? I'm not about to engage on that because I don't know, and that's a board decision, not mine. The only reason why I got steered towards this versus Menti, like Menti would be a completely uncontrolled thing. Like honestly, it'd be like people voting on Dancing with the Stars or something. Like that's kind of the vision. Like this year is a secure election. Like if you look through the pamphlet, like it's got all of the things to like host a real election if you really wanted to. If you were a public corporation voting for shareholder rights or whatever, it would happen. So from like a process standpoint, I don't think you can get much better. But just wanted to share that.
What is the part in the bylaws that you were worried about there?
It just, you know, it says 2 votes per family, there's no proxy voting permitted.
No proxy voting, that's the wording.
I mean, I read it, that's how I read it. I didn't see anything where it dictates our election process. I'm assuming we've done it that way always because back when it was started years ago, that's just all they needed, all they had available. So probably the subject's never been approached.
Nobody's saying it's a bad idea. but it should be reviewed by an attorney.
Sure.
Who's the attorney for the club?
We don't have one.
Do you want to use my attorney? I can have him look at it.
It ain't happening this year.
I mean, I think it's a good idea to look into it and really, but I mean, you're,
But even if it's not an inviting hand,
yeah.
Then yeah, there's gotta be.
What's the primary concern?
You missed it, I apologize. You want me to go through the presentation again?
No.
The
I'm
big
sorry,
thing-
I apologize, I missed it.
So the big thing with, you know, if you vote for 4 candidates, you know, and there's 4 running, you know, and there's 4 open spots. But like Keith says, sometimes I only vote for 2 because I feel them are the 2, but when technically the person that got voted in might not have been a person, you know, that he didn't vote, you know.
My biggest complaint, so I'll just restate it simply, Pat's doing a great job, but is this, I think that the way we cast ballots, we do not have voter differentiation. Like most elections, like if you actually look at it, like you're supposed to have more than 50% majority before the candidate's truly elected, right? And here, we're so far away from that. Like you might have 175 for the winner and 165 for the loser, and it's like we're good because we don't want to run the process again. And so when you're making a selection of candidates, which I'm not making, this is not about candidates or who's running, it's literally just about, it's like, it should be a pick between the best candidates. Like so there's 2 options, this is what I said. You can either run a vote and remove the lowest voter count, start it over. Run the vote again, move the loser, and you just keep doing that until you have 4 votes. Or you do the opposite, winner, move them. Now you're voting on the next batch of people and you go until you get the top 4. And so I just feel like that is a more appropriate election process, and so I just wanted to share that there's technology available and it's extremely affordable and we can do it, so.
And quicker too.
How many times you guys recounted this last year?
A lot.
A lot.
First time.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, yeah.
I appreciate you considering it, so
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree that it's something that can be looked at. You know, it's just March 6th already, 20 days to, you know, our election, you know,
and what we got this much time?
well,
Download an app and
The guy said, he said that there's also, so if there's a fear of that, you can pay some extra money and you can run a hosted election, which I didn't think that was necessary to start the conversation. So run a hosted election starts at $600, like you literally have somebody that will do everything for you. $600 seems like
$5.99 it was.
yeah, it seems, and when Sam and I asked, was like, can we get trained on this? He said that in 3 to 4 hours, he thinks like direct time trying to figure it out. So that's it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks Keith. Any more discussion or anything? Okay. Moving on. Nicole and Jennifer, please, start next.
Okay, so I was just gonna update you guys a little bit, PVP tournament here. Overall, it went really, really good. We had great feedback from everybody that was here. They really enjoyed it, they had fun. Kids had fun, parents had fun. We did have 2 NDAHA representatives here. We did have a board member and we did have a regional rep here, so they also had good reviews. They said we did a good job. Most everything went well. Things that we offered, we did offer raffle, 50-50, silent auction, and shout out. Shout out went really well for the boys, I guess, which is surprising because I didn't think that boys liked them. But a lot of the other teams, they thought it was super cool. Their kids wanted the, we had hockey cards, basically, little packs of hockey cards. And that's what the kids wanted, and then they'd go out on the ice and they'd say, hey, you know, mom and dad love you, skate hard, and they go like this and they fist pump their parents while they're out there on the ice. So, I don't know. They liked it, I guess. The refs were great. The refs were very, very helpful.
Very helpful.
We had a couple incidences with some coaches, locker room monitor,
Yep.
and just game sheets in general. We had some questions on, so they were, the ones that they sent here were really good and helpful.
Yeah, we just had one coach rejected, one player rejected, and almost a locker room monitor, and that's about it.
But they had everybody's backs. They said if you have issues or anything like that, just let us know and we'll deal with it so that we have to necessarily deal with it. So, we did have to enlist in a lot of outside help. Kind of bring that up a little bit. Part of the takeaway, the negative aspect of what happened, because we had to reach for outside help. There was a lot of miscommunication between the PWB group and what their roles and responsibilities were versus what Nicole and I were telling them as the tournament directors of what they were responsible for. What we found out in the end was we had one parent, Tammy Martin's, telling her team that it was the tournament committee, which was made up of you and Lisa and whoever was doing the winter classics. The tournament committee was responsible for putting this state tournament on. Then when we sat in meetings, we kept telling them, no, you're the team here, you're the host, you're responsible for it, you guys need to do everything. So between parents over here saying one thing, us saying one thing, a lot of their B parents did not want to step up and help because they thought we were telling them the wrong information. So we had to enlist in several people.
We had figure skating.
Just non-members here helping. We had to jump in on a couple shifts because we were short on things. So moving forward, one of the takeaways is we should probably put something in our policy to state who, at the end of the day, is responsible for the tournament.
The state tournament.
The state tournament, yeah. Is it going to be the overall tournament committee for the entire year? Like, is that their role to take on all responsibility of all the tournaments? Whether it's the state or whether it's, in-house tournaments, or is it going to be the host team that's here, that's their responsibility, they need to form a committee, they need to be responsible for it.
And that's what we've done in the years past, is whatever team that has state here is one that steps up, they hire.
Isn't that kind of what we do in our tournaments too, like the
Yeah.
team steps up?
Yes, yes.
Well,
Did Lori?
Jennifer and I had to do a lot, and Lori as
Lori
well.
did as much as she could, she got to the point where she
They would listen to Lori.
She stepped, they were gonna listen to her.
She was kind of taking the lead.
she took the
She
lead.
messaged us and said she has to step back because
It was too much for her to,
Which, I mean, I made it clear to her that the state was on her like 2 months prior to state.
Yeah.
Knowing that most of
and,
us on the committee were maybe.
yeah, that's something that as a club, we reiterate if we are to host another tournament, state tournament, that right away say, hey guys, you're the team, you formulate this committee now, or whoever the committee is, start planning, like Nicole's gone through, 3 tournaments, state tournaments hosting here. There's a couple other people that have been here, I mean, we have pretty much set things that have to be happening, have to do. So, there's things that you can start with at the beginning of the year to help the process out by the time it gets here.
Was Tammy working against the president?
100%.
100%.
And everything, cleaning too, like she
She
told,
was not there, yes, she was very.
in like the cleaning process, she said, oh, you guys don't need to clean, because we have a cleaning company coming in. Well, no, that's not the case, they were coming in to help, they weren't gonna be here to do all the cleaning. So there was a lot of miscommunication between that group in particular and then everything that we were trying to do.
And Lori had mentioned that we don't have anything in our bylaws or handbook, anything about state tournaments that shows who's gonna be responsible, and just like a little general idea
Just
of
a flip of something.
just a little blip. So we're hoping that this is something that we can move forward with and put in there so that it's not such a fun event. Yeah.
Another thing that maybe a blip in there is we had parents under the assumption that they were volunteering so they didn't have to pay to come in and work here. Well, it's a state tournament. It doesn't matter if
people that weren't here to watch hockey, like figure skating, those volunteers, we did not have them paid to come help us out. Those were the only people that didn't pay.
And they worked and left.
And they worked and left, so maybe something with our stuff of saying, everybody pays except for the people that aren't actually a part of the, well, they don't have a kid in the program, but helping us out in admissions or Boxford or something like that, because to me, I don't think it's fair to have them come help us out and have them paid to come into a tournament too.
And then I guess just one last thing, just a little mishap with the schedules, for whoever's doing the scheduling and stuff like that. In the state rules, it does say 30 minutes, so that was kind of where I got excited, you know, with not knowing somebody was gonna be on the ice, and just that communication needs to happen with the people who are hosting or whoever's here running the tournament.
Or Sam.
Zamming, yeah, because I had the Zam schedule set, ready to go, they had already put the nets out, and we had the people on the ice, and it's like, per state rules, there's supposed to be 30 minutes between Zam and games, so it's just moving forward, just communication is the big key of, you know,
It's 30 minutes between every game?
on stage, yes.
Wow.
Because they
Yes.
have to jam between second and third period and then every first, or first period.
And that comes with the state rules, basically. What else you got?
So Kathy and I were talking, this kind of goes hand in hand, but this is for next year. Hopefully you guys can take into account about raising our DIV volunteer hours to 30 hours. Kathy wants 15 in concession and 15 other, but bring cleaning back. Everybody stepped up to do most of it this year, but with what we have going on, we're not gonna survive with just 20 hours, every family doing 20. We probably have a handful of families that have put in over 100 hours this year, and their benefit is our 25%, possibly a free registration. To increase the fee to $2,500 if they don't complete it, and we think that it should be paid before the voting happens in the spring, so it doesn't roll over for the next year, so that the club can still get the income from those hours that the people are not doing. 2,500 per family if they don't get their DIV hours done. Because Kathy heard a lot this year, 500 is nothing, I'll pay the 500. And as of right now, we have 19 families that didn't do anything. But the people that worked over 100 hours, they did their hours for them. And there's no benefit besides the discount. And then that's pretty much what Kathy and I are talking about. She wants cleaning it to come back because, we all know this, but not everybody else knows. The cleaning company doesn't clean the windows, doesn't clean the seats. When we first started up here, each team had a week of cleaning. And if they fulfill that month, then they get an hour of cleaning for that month to go towards. She wants 5 hours of cleaning if we can do that. And then I will have everybody's hours updated before the meeting. So that you guys can have, see where everybody's at. I have 2 different spreadsheets. I have a family one and then I have teams, and it's all broken up.
So I did have the cleaning company, our cleaning company, they came in 3 times a day. They went through the locker room, made sure them were all cleaned back up. And then they came upstairs and dumped all the garbages and 3 times a day. At the end of the day, they came in and made sure the bleachers were garbages. But a lot of us did a lot of that, but it helped out. And just kind of come in and on Thursday before the state tournament, I did have them come in and clean the windows upstairs because there's a lot of fingerprints on them and stuff like that. So I just had them come in and clean them.
I think it'd be fine to go with the 30. I've read some of the reviews on the thing that we put out, and a lot of people say it's too much, which I disagree, because I can knock out 15 in a weekend pretty easy,
See, what we could do, so like Hazen, for example, a friend's there, and they do them as credits. They don't do them as hours. So their bantam has 4 credits, their high schooler has 5 credits, and 9 credits for the whole year. Those credits take place of hours and concessions. Why not? Their shifts are 3 to 4 hours, and they have to do 4 shifts. So I don't know if it's a way to just make them think that it's less hours, like to do credits versus whatever. I don't know, but something
It's already talking to the tournaments trying to fund concessions. This is on the tournament weekends to help mitigate some of that. So that would be a process between now and next season, trying to figure out how to do that. And we can get, right, as we discussed. So hopefully that will help significantly. And then cutting the boxes from 5 to 3.1, things like that. We made a lot of shifts. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't think really very much, but
And I think that, I know you guys were against it at the beginning of the year, but I do believe first year skaters still need to do 5 or 10 hours regardless. Don't give them the full 20 hours or what everybody else has to, but it just eases them into the next year to come back. They've already done some hours, they kind of know what it's worth like. And I know a lot of people are so scared to do the box work, the clock and the book. Jennifer's tried to get people down there to sign them up, and maybe that's just something we do as a club too, like showing them,
Next season, something
like that, so that
hockey starts.
we don't have a state tournament, and people like, I'll help, but I don't know how to do it, and you're in there trying to show them you're in a state tournament.
And that's not the time to be doing it because those sheets have to be done like correctly or otherwise the state will be back.
Okay.
But any questions for anything that we didn't do at the tournament? Any other questions? All the money that I have or had has been turned in, raffle money, things like that. I mean, roughly a little over 2,500 between the raffle and the shout outs. The 50-50 was a total of $600 and some split, it was $300 and some. And they finally came and claimed it on Sunday morning. So, and we did have one raffle item, girl lays and walked away. A small child, well not so much small, but
He wanted that thing, but
He
he
wanted
kept coming
it,
and trying to get more
and
tickets,
he-
he has a bubble.
he's a little mentally handicapped, and so I don't know if he completely got through the process of it, but we tracked him down and we're in the process of getting it from him and returning it to the reporters. But
you get the air and you this out of the cheat sheets, yeah.
yes, that should all have been and all of that stuff. So there's only piles that did not sell.
Okay, perfect, that's what.
And the sheets for the jerseys are inside the jerseys.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rough Rider Center.
Okay, we got some exciting news. Minot Minotauros contacted Josh and I. They want to come play games in Watford City, home games. They want to play on our ice, which is awesome. They've kind of, if you want to talk to Josh again.
Yeah, no, yeah, Ken called me and explained kind of scenarios. So 2024-25, they're looking for alternative sites. Minot has really squeezed them on ice time. There's kind of two things with it. He really likes coming to Walker City. They can look at ticket sales. They know people do come to their games from time to time over in Minot. And you'd rather move and come here as opposed to get shoved to a smaller rink in Minot, just from a public standpoint, business standpoint. You'd rather look to expand and grow their business out west. So they're looking for available weekends in January, February, and March.
Yeah.
I'll kind of explain, because that was my first thought. Okay, what's the process here? What do we need to start, how do we have to talk through this? What's our process has to be? So basically, Canada of Minot has to send available options to the headquarters by April 15th. What they do then is that NAHL makes their schedule and sends it back out. Usually they have a schedule by late June, maybe early July. And so I asked them a couple things. A, when are they looking to play? Friday, Saturday night, kind of like the Warren Watford. Typically 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. start points. Okay, got that note down. I then asked them, well, how much time do you need before? Is it something where we can, club can schedule games beforehand? There's so that, how much buffer do we really need? He said, well, we need some sort of buffer. Have to clear the rinks for admissions, for ticket sales, different things like that. But there wasn't an objection to saying, like, hey, it's not that big. Maybe to draw interest from other teams coming in, pick a weekend that works, whatever the case may be. He's like, all for it. And if there's things going on beforehand, we can clear it in time. He said that wouldn't be an issue. He was okay with that. So I guess from our standpoint, what I would ask is we need to identify potentially options. So it can be multiple options with a preferred weekend. So we can send 2 weekends, 1 weekend, 3 weekends, whatever works potentially. We can send as many as we want and give a preferred weekend. That helps with the scheduling process. If they want to try to move some stuff around with opponents, kind of go from there. So my thought
Are
was
those 2 game weekends?
Yeah, they play two.
Friday, Saturday.
So 6 games total. is
Usually
what
play
they
7
do.
o'clock.
Six games total.
Yep,
So 3 weekends,
yep.
3 weekends. though.
1 in January, 1 February, 1 in March.
great opportunity to try to draw them home, sure.
Are they, what's their, I mean, did they talk about arrangement? Do they wanna rent the ice from us? Or would they like to share the ticket sales with us, or where they?
You know,
That has not even, I mean,
Okay.
we haven't even got
We
to
haven't gotten to
what that looks
point
like.
yet.
Yeah.
You need 2 hours to flip it before they take care of cleaning, set up for admissions.
Great
Yeah.
opportunity.
Everybody would have to
it's hard to
exit.
give up those weekends when we haven't even scheduled our weekends, so.
Well, if you have your weekends and you're done by 5, like, there's weekends that we have that are lighter than others. If we look back.
On a
last year,
Saturday, Friday would be the tough day.
Friday would be tough. Saturday, you can do it.
I think it'd be awesome, but we're trying to find people to cover our tournaments, much less that.
Well, they need to hire the staff for that, right? I mean, they do their own staffing.
It's just like, I mean, they bring quite a bit of staff in. You know, Warren Mofford as an example, you bring a lot of staff down to do admissions, stuff up here, and the operations side, obviously, with help from you guys, so. But yeah,
Definitely a great talking point to get that third rink going.
Well, let's say if they're not happy with mine, they eventually want to migrate here. I mean, just go and talk to the junior team here, right?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing that we have to figure out if they ever want to come here is they're gonna want their own locker room, their own.
That type of stuff, yeah. Yeah, it's a process.
It's
Yeah,
expansion for sure.
well, with our conversation, Ken knows what we're about here, because he's been here for multiple
Yeah.
years. There's no concern about that's not a good venue, or, you know, locker rooms aren't up to par right now, or anything like that. Like, they enjoy coming here. He's a little frustrated with what Minot's doing to him. He wants to kind of be at a spot where people appreciate him and build the brand a little bit. So, I mean, there's that business side on their part where they want to build fans out this way. So, I guess that's all we're coming tonight is,
Trying to get some dates, maybe.
if we can get, I mean,
Can we do an exploratory Zoom meeting with them and just talk it through?
I think you would be open to that.
yeah,
So, like, my only concern is, like, I think it's great, we want them, I'm not sure what's here, but if you look at it, January, February, that only gives us pretty much 2 weekends to do our games, because we have our Winter Classic tournaments going on in January and February. And if they want a weekend here for the minor, that only leaves us 2 weekends to fill in. I have to get league games done and everything like that, so I mean, that's not.
So it's all 6 games, they want all 6 games to be here, or just one, or?
Could we start with 2 and see how that works, maybe?
Yeah.
I think we can go back to him and talk with him. I mean, his
Well,
preference
March,
would
you
be,
wouldn't have any problem in March.
No, March wouldn't be an issue at all.
So,
Yeah.
for sure.
They still regular season till March 30th. Let's see if it goes beyond that.
So I mean, you look at it, you know, I'm just looking at dates. I mean, January 3rd is a Friday, January 4th, you know, we have our Bantam
Well, actually,
Winter Classic is the 10th and 12th, the following
and
weekend.
so is AU is also in January.
Yeah, the January's 18th and 19th. But you could run a couple league games on Saturday here, you know, on Sunday. In the morning, you know, and you got that
It's
rink.
still usually on the sheet at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah.
And their regular season ends April 13th, so they go out.
Well, their concern is clearing the venue so they can get their ticket sales.
I
Yeah.
think we could work it out, though, we could still have something on that other sheet, you know?
they would just all have to be probably ground level.
We just,
run admission at the doors right there. That's the only way you're watching.
I think we could manage through that. But they need to provide some support staff, you know,
And I
that.
think they'd be willing to.
Yeah, he even.
Well, they supply
They
all
do it
box
now.
personnel, the referees,
Yeah.
you know, we supply the sample.
And Ken did mention, he's like, that's just an exhibition game when they come here. They bring more people, like for their game day operations at Minot. There's more staff, they have to help facilitate the game, so.
I recommend exploring it. I think it's a great opportunity for the chefs and junior hockey here. You never know, 3 years down the road, if you guys have a third or fourth sheet, then all of a sudden, back on junior team house here.
I think the biggest thing is just getting people interested in hockey, right? Nothing but good things for our club, for enrollment in the club, you know, get all these kids here, you know, get non-hockey people here, and all of a sudden they like hockey. It helps, you know. But, like you say, it's just a scheduler's nightmare.
Well, you don't have a lot of weekends to work with. And then we were just also just talking about, we have to fill concessions, and we were already struggling filling our concessions.
What about, what would you, I was gonna say, what would you have to do, how much smaller would a Winter Classic tournament have to be to hold those games on a Friday and Saturday?
Or do we really wanna take a
During that
look
Winter Classic tournament, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's talking in there.
Aren't you giving them the majority of the income from that account here though?
We haven't had that discussion, but
I
likely,
would assume so. Which I'm not opposed to them coming, I have a hard time finding for an hour and a half again in the schedule, so I'd have to trim that like
yeah.
4 to 8 teams off of that to make that work, to get the whole thing cleaned out. I mean, it's putting all the stuff in the concourse and everything. Just, anyway.
Well, I think the big thing is we gotta figure out as a committee, or put a committee together to figure out some dates to try to give to them, you know, to see if this would work for them, and because, I mean, like, they're going in April to do their schedule. We're going in July to do our schedule.
We go in September to do our schedule, so it makes sense for them to bring us what dates would work for them.
First,
Do we have
And then we
our,
could try working around that.
are our tournaments scheduled already? Yeah, so we have those.
we have those, we just need to fill in where they want, and then the last person in would have to be whoever is in the schedule for the next season, that can work around that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, I mean, we just gotta,
They just come up with some dates
Dates would work.
for them, yeah, and then they go and see if they're
Give
gonna
them
work
our
with
tournament
the
dates,
NHL, yeah,
let them work around our tournament dates, they work around their dates.
correct.
that's what I.
We don't give them dates when we're busy, we have to give them dates that they can choose to come.
Are they open for it in April?
We could ask if it's February,
March.
March,
April, maybe a January date.
Is that something you want us to, would that be?
February, March, April would probably work for best. January,
Okay.
okay.
We can have that conversation with them.
and
Maybe they do
it's
it
the same
December.
problem in mine too. It's that January, I mean, that's
Yeah.
gonna be the busiest
That's-
time.
Yeah, that's when they're
Busy
kicked
everywhere.
out of their range, yeah.
Yeah.
Exploratory public as well.
I guess to, put together what committee members you want on that. If you wanna select people and then let us know, we'll reach out, set something up with them.
And April 15th is the deadline, Ken did say sooner.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think when we put our hockey committee together, that's, running our tournament, so they got all them dates already, boom, boom, they can be.
It's just easier here than the one that gets.
Yeah.
Our dates are set.
I think that's the thing, I think, we just give them dates that,
They
here's
just
what
want
we,
dates.
Yeah,
here's what we're open, here, boom, 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 and will this work for you?
right. That's the way I would.
Yeah.
And they can
I mean,
choose
I-
to come or not on those given dates, and that's it from them, right?
Give them 5 options or 6 options, and
I mean, we could even throw a December date out there if we wanted, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have to take it, but if it was.
I mean, you can even throw an April date in,
Right,
let's see what they say.
December through April,
Yeah.
and here's the availabilities. And they gotta pick, right? And then
yeah.
We'll have now our tournament minimum, basically, this rink needs to be closed by 5, right? Pretty much, for the 7 o'clock game.
Yeah, 5, if you're done by 5, you can flip it.
Right. Okay, done by 5, so we can fit, that's your window, scheduled from 8 to 5. Yeah, you can fit a lot of games in.
Yeah, you can. I'm just worried about getting everyone out and stuff too before people start coming in. You know, I feel like we always have the issue when the Bismarck and Minnetonka's game. I just don't feel like it ever works out where we get people out.
It's very quick, yeah.
Yeah, so, but,
Yeah, and cleaning locker rooms as well.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, so, do we wanna, get the committee, throw out dates to them? Or do we want to as a board?
I think we need to have Sam input for sure and Jamie's, because Sam has been scheduling and Jamie knows the tournament stuff.
I mean, I think as long as they at least have the winter classic tournament, those ones are for sure no. I just can't think about work, the dates, and I can email.
yeah, send us the
whatever.
dates, yeah.
And then I can just work around. Figure it out.
Yeah, those are full dates currently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as they have those dates,
Yeah.
and we can, we have Christmas, New Year's, break.
Yeah, why don't you just do New Year's? They've got games on New Year's.
That's what I
I
was
mean, you
thinking,
could
like
do
the
it
third,
over
fourth.
New Year's, we don't.
I mean, the third and
That's a
fourth,
good idea.
everybody's coming back after New Year's, you know, around here, after Christmas break, maybe you get a crowd, better crowd, you never know, I mean, cause they're going back to school on that Monday.
So I think the biggest thing we need to discuss is concessions and things like that, and that's
Well, that's the
I'll
thing.
sign up the box and perhaps like got that covered, so it's like we just need to make sure we have the same.
What other staff are we have to be here? What if the schedule comes and every team is, or 90% of our teams are on now?
Well, if I have dates, I can make sure I have teams in town.
Hey, if it's a weekend like that, we're recruiting, you know, I pull community volunteers all the time. If they know something like that's coming in town, and then I know you guys need that need, like,
We
that's
know
the
what
problem, we'll get it figured out, like.
Yeah.
We'll
That's
call
the least of
them.
the problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, more good news.
I like to be in town.
Okay, March 19th, the JDA would like myself and whoever wants to come with Hockey Club to come before JDA and request the funds to fund the hockey restrooms down here on the main level. So if you guys want to put together a list, if you want me to go, you sure can. They said usually the more the merrier, to just show why we need it, how we've outgrown the space as far as downstairs restrooms, that type of stuff, ease of access, handicap availability, that type of stuff. So the dollars that we have are, or the plans that have been in place for a long time would just be 2 women's stalls, 2 men's stalls, and it's right in this area. So I guess ideas, if there's been talk too that put it at the other end and then move concessions down here. I think that's just a huge expense that I don't think the JDA would be or the county on board with. I think this would be an easier sell. But they think they can get it to pass pretty easily, but would like input from Hockey Club of why the need for the hockey restrooms down here.
What was the date on that again?
March 19th at 5:30 at the courthouse. So if you are coming, let me know so we can kind of give them a head count of how many people are there in case they need to move their meeting at the courthouse. And then if you wouldn't mind sending me a list of your talking points so we can get it to the JDA before we go. So they have a starting point of why we're there.
Is it the commissioner's room or what?
Yes. Yep. So it'll go to JDA first. JDA will make the recommendation and then, we will have to go before the county commission as well. So that will probably be the first meeting in April, we'll go to the county commission as well. So I'll keep you up to date on those dates and times, but like I say,
Double check your location, usually JDA meets downstairs,
okay,
right by Stanford's office.
okay, perfect. I'll send that out. Okay, spring and summer schedule so we can decide on ice melting for both rinks, what it looks like. This rink, we are getting a garage door installed, so we need time to do that. We need to get Simcoe here for shutdown. So if I can get some dates put together for you guys, that would be great, consensus date, so we know when to schedule all those things.
What's the garage door?
The what?
The garage door. Just for the ice?
For the ice and future endeavors for this end of the building. There's talked about too, the Bismarck Bucks coming and playing an IFL game here. So it would definitely be easier to have a garage door to bring in the turf, take down the glass, that type of stuff if we have a garage door. So, but definitely ease of access of moving the ice out, a garage door versus through the Zam room. Talks to of, you know, in the future you could melt this rink first and keep this one on, utility costs. I mean, you don't have as many outside walls on this one versus this.
All of the glass? I'm sorry, you say take down the glass? All of the glass? Oh man, you guys must have lots of them.
That's still work in progress, for sure. But
Alright, just wanna make sure you're right.
Make sure it's stored inside.
no, I know. And take it down very carefully.
Well, the sun will deteriorate the glass.
So that's still not gonna happen for sure, but just different ideas. We have a garage door. The one that used to be in the field house, we replaced with the taller one. So we have the garage door. City council has already approved to cut the hole, put the garage door in, hook up the electrical for it, so.
How much time do we need for
The guy's looking for a time frame. I would say probably a week, for sure. But he just needs some time frame to work into his schedule of when he can come and do all that.
It's gonna be more than a week. It's gonna be more than a week. I seen him cut that garage door and it took
Oh my gosh, that was awful.
It took about a month.
Yeah, we're not having that guy come back. That was about 6 months. And then I just request as, and I have sent it to the board, just any requests on changes, ideas, that type of stuff for this end of the building. I would prefer it gets put in the board meeting minutes and then presented to me. That way I have a consensus of the board. It's not just somebody talking to me in passing that's not even on the board. That happens a lot. And so just so it's in the meeting minutes, I know it's been approved at the board level. That way we can go through the channels of where it needs to go to next as far as the city or the park board or whatnot.
So, did you ever have that meeting about this on boards then? After I
It is brought up, but it's been kicked to the side for right now until we have more information. So it needs to be in the board meeting minutes and show support of the board wanting that versus.
Can we present that? Can we present that to the GDA too?
You gotta get on the agenda. But, so just any of that stuff, just as long as it's in the meeting minutes, that way, yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Sorry, one more. And then on the new Zamboni, I just need a copy of the insurance.
I'm on it.
Perfect, okay. Just so we have that in our file. Other than that, I think that's all I have. Any questions for us? Thoughts, ideas?
How are you guys sitting for staff, like running the building, janitors, concessions folks, just thinking about our tournaments and everything we've done, we've generated some revenue, but it's been a lot of work and a lot of, huge demand. Always thought it'd be nice if you guys had extra staff or whatever, if we could call on you guys from time to time, pay your personnel to run the concessions or or clean or whatever, what have you.
I think it would just depend on what's going on at the other end of the building concession wise. We've had the best concession staff we've ever had, as far as kids wanting to work and that type of stuff. So I think it would just depend if that concession is open, there's no way we can run this one. We don't have that much personnel.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't open, I would be able to
is it hard to get people? Like, are you struggling to get people, or like your workload, is it tough to balance the amount of work you have with the amount of
For the
staff you
custodial
need?
side?
Yeah,
I think it comes down to pay.
yeah.
I really do. You know, the ones that we have been here, one's been here for 3 years, one's 2 years. I mean, so they stick around once they come, but it's just getting them to bite.
Yeah.
Try it out. There's just so many job openings. They can go anywhere and work, so.
Okay. Anything else?
Anything else, you guys?
Big thing is get them some dates. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Minutes from our previous meeting, did everybody have a chance to read through them and
Very good.
see anything that needs to be corrected?
Bring a couple. There. Bring a couple.
Huh?
Bring a few.
Oh, man. 5, 7, yep, okay.
Did everybody have a chance? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from our February 7th meeting? I have a motion, do I have a second? I have a second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. Next on the agenda, treasurer's report.
I sent out the financials for you, everybody to review. Does anybody have any questions? I do want to point out one thing. Sam and I were discussing it earlier before the meeting. The concession stand numbers are inflated, and our fundraising is a little low, and our tournament revenue is a little low because those numbers are co-mingled in the concession. We'll need to work through how to better manage that so that when a big number comes in the bank account, we're able to decipher what goes where. Sam's gonna look at it and see if we can't come up with something for the annual meeting so it's a little clearer. Otherwise, I'll just explain it that way, and I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, so you just want it like broke out to where Winter Classic, raffles,
And then that, yes.
food.
Yep. So that then I can look at the number that comes in, and then we can split it out into the proper buckets. But other than that, again, our revenue we've got more money than we did last year. We're pretty close in the budget. So all in all, it looks good. We call it a success. I do have, our tax return is done. They have to sign it. And I have their Johnson Company's check. Their bill for the year is $12,931.61. Here's the invoice. If anybody would like to review it, I'm gonna need a motion to sign this check. Big.
I have a motion, do I have a second? I have a second by Corey. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Okay, next on my to-do list, I have coaches pay. And just like everybody, quick review it, make sure I didn't miss anything. I did have Pat review it. To make sure I didn't miss anybody, and if the amounts are okay, and if we're okay with it.
Is this the same as last year?
Yes.
Did we pay the rec coordinator last year?
Yep. I did not pay you twice, and I didn't pay Pat twice because we both were registered coaches on 2 teams. agrees, I'll need a motion to approve so I can get these checks cut and I'll hand them out at the end.
Do I have a motion to agree to the purchase pay? I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Okay, the golf course has a new process they're putting in place. You have to sign a contract to do a scramble. He had some issues with a separate tournament, and nothing to do with us, so now a new process had to get put in place. And there's a deposit of like $200, and he's gonna charge $25 per golfer, and we'll have to pay it before the event. And if there's some stragglers come in, he said he'll go for this, it's okay. But just so you're aware, I have the contract. I'm assuming we're gonna need Pat to sign. Yeah, right here. That contract so we can do our scramble in August. Wait, look at it.
Is it straightforward?
It's totally straightforward. It's a $200 deposit and it's $25 per golfer, but prior to the event.
So we could charge $50.
You're gonna charge 75. We charge usually more than that. We charge $100,
$25 a time?
125, yeah. Like $125.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
it's food, too.
$200 deposit.
So I mean, we make it literally takes and I'm gonna give Angela all the credit. Takes her like nothing. She throws it together and it makes it easy. Not even trying. Somebody put some effort into it, it could be 50.
Should we leave the charge for that?
I would think so. I'd expect so.
Okay.
You gotta charge 6.5% sales tax for a golfer.
Does everybody agree to this? We should probably have a motion to agree to their contract. Does anybody have? any
I'll
concerns? I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second by Corey. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign.
Sign it correct.
We're just gonna let you start. And while he's signing, the only last piece I have for the treasurer's report is that I'm planning, my intention is to have a full set of the financials available at the annual meeting, but because I don't think anybody really pays attention to the full set of financials, I mean, there's probably 3 people that can actually read them. I will just do a summary snapshot of revenue, expenses, and highlight the endowment, highlight a few of the dashboard sales, and just kind of present it in that way rather than the full set of financials, because it just gets into the weeds, and I don't think that meeting is painful enough. Nobody wants me sitting up there yammering around about financials, so I'll make it short and sweet. I'll send them out for you guys so you can review, and does everybody agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, they can request a copy.
I'll have 10 copies of them sitting there, and they're welcome to come and get them. I don't care. Not one person grabbed them last year, but I'll do it again just because there's always that one guy that might want to look at them. But again, it's just a huge expense to print all that crap, and nobody ever reads it.
Okay,
So I'm done.
I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Andy, do I have a second? A second by Corey. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Whether you gonna have any endowment information there, I mean,
Yeah, I should reach out to that guy and have him see if he can't be there. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's good.
Okay, moving on to agenda items. The cleaning company, I sent you guys an email a while ago about, you know, they were kind of asking if they could get a little bit more out of the club, you know, for, you seen it, we all seen it, what they were charging for them to come in and clean up once, you know, it's $185, you know, and they're bringing 4 or 5 people in here. This weekend there was always 4 with their,
Was it 225? No, it's 225.
we never did approve it
Okay.
or anything like that. So when she was here this weekend, I asked her if, because I was kind of curious if she had a number, you know, and she's like, well, I want to sit down and work my numbers and see, because like she said, I'm not making very much profit paying my employees, you know, that. So she emailed me back a couple days ago, said she'd like to see it go to $250 a time, every time she comes in and cleans it. I said I'd bring it to the board.
Go 275.
Why can't she? I don't understand why she wouldn't have an hourly rate, like, per person. So, like, I haven't paid attention, but, you know, I mean, I suppose it's easy to pad your hours, you know, and maybe we're getting, but at the same time, it'd be easy to show up with 2 people for an hour and everything's pretty clean and they walk away, you know, I mean, it's, and you never know how dirty or how clean it's gonna be. So it seems to me, if they had an hourly rate per employee or an hourly rate while they were here cleaning, then if there's a lot to do, then they charge us more because it takes them more hours. If there's less to do, they charge us less, but.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
Time and materials.
that's what she's been doing, and honestly, I think she's doing a great job. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm looking at, if you brought in any other cleaning company, you're going to be paying $250 an hour. It could be, you know.
I don't want to do the job.
I mean, right now, electrician is $265 an hour. And you're paying for one is $140, and the other one's $1.
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure, though, I'm sure a cleaner's $50 an hour per person, so, I mean, $200 an hour, they're here for an hour, they might be here for 2, so, I mean, it might very well move the other way, but it just seems a lot easier and a lot more fair for both parties if you can, you know, that she's not gonna come to us next year for another increase, you know, or we shouldn't have to, but
I mean, the big thing is too, is we are supplying all the cleaning supplies for it. You know, we're supplying the toilet paper, the Clorox bleach and all that stuff. So, I mean, we are paying for all that. I mean, she's just coming here and doing it.
yeah.
So,
What do you think, you wanted 275?
I'm okay with that. I mean, she's asking for 250 and you're a little bit.
Give her a little extra. Nobody wants to do the job.
I agree.
That way she's coming, she's happy, she's got a little extra, she's got some money in her pocket. We don't want to do it, so let's pay her.
Well, probably utilizing that a lot for next year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the first few tournaments, we didn't bring them in, you know, and like, I just sent her a text and asked her, can you, and she just responds back, okay, yep, I'll approve that.
You're a little extra. Should make more money next year anyway, by bulk. Working it out, so.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve it at 275? Or I guess I have a motion at 275. I have a second by Jamie. All in favor, say aye. All
Is this an
opposed?
hour rate? Or, I mean, they're in for here for an hour. They do, technically it is an hourly rate, but they only charge you for an hour, right?
Per visit.
Per visit? Okay.
That's what it.
That's what it is on the invoice for Hillsborough.
Yes, this is quantity one, so I don't know if they just did 1 hour or.
Okay. Next thing, I got a phone call on Monday from Myron, the cleaning board guy. They're coming and clean the black marks off all the boards. He's looking at trying to be here on May 4th or the 5th, one of the 2 days. Ice can be on, ice can be off, doesn't matter for him, so.
Has he come up with a way to clean the glass?
He is in the process, it's still hand. He said he has so. He has not come up with a machine, So I just wanted to let the board know that he'll be coming one of those days. It'll be in the late afternoon, early evening.
That's the weekend he's coming.
Yeah.
It's Easter. No, it's Orthodox Easter.
So
Do you want to prove it? No.
I never did ask. He's always been, I think it's been $1,000 a ring or
1,300, 1,200 or something like that.
yeah, it's pretty. I know it was. No, it's 1,500 a ring, wasn't it? Aaron, last year we paid. We could look back.
It wasn't much.
Yeah. So. And they're clean.
Yeah, relatively speaking.
So. Next thing I had was Jared Chop was talking to me about cleaning glass, getting pot marks off the glass. Last year, we tried it going, sending out a club-wide email to come in and everybody get a sponge and go to town.
About 5 people showed up.
Yeah. It didn't work. So he presented it to me. He said, I'll come in and do it. Each ring. I said, okay, what's your price? He said, well, I think it should be $2,000 to $2,500 for that Hansen rink, probably because you're gonna have pot marks on the outside of this glass lot. This with our shooting charts, and $2,000 for the community. I don't know what your guys' thoughts.
I don't even think the community rink got done, did it?
It did get done.
They didn't even tell us.
It did not get done.
One
thing-
Thankless job.
It was not.
It wasn't fun last year. It was not fun.
We had some boys down here helping.
Yeah, that sucked.
But that wouldn't happen until ice was off, because we're bringing in the lifts. Things like that.
So they asked for $4,500. $4,500 to do it then?
All
Altogether?
rigs, yeah.
We need 3 feet over the board.
I was looking for
I don't know, I wanted to bring you guys, what you guys' thoughts, and, I'd like to give it an answer, so.
I don't know anybody else would do it for that kind of money. And Jared Chop isn't a guy that's gonna take advantage of our club, so.
It'll be clean, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What marks will be off of that?
He'll do a good job. Next year he'll want double.
It'll be him and Paxton probably.
Yeah, that's what he said. I'll get back to you, So,
Is there a going rate for doing that? Like, I don't know,
I guess here's the thing,
Well,
we've never done it until last year. Before it was Martin did it all. I mean, he just did it, and it took him all summer, but he would do it a couple hours a day, just kind of,
I think it's fair. Yeah, nothing to compare it to, me, I damn sure don't want to do it.
You guys want to do it?
You know,
Almost gonna pay your chocolate $4,500 for the class.
Okay. I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. New board members. I had a couple people last weekend ask me about, the new members that are, or board members that are running. They were wanting to know if there was any chance that we could have where they come in like a week before the annual meeting and be able to ask questions and try to, because both of them said to me, I don't know who that person is, and I don't know who that person is, and I think maybe, like Keith's presentation there, sometimes that's, you just don't know, I said, well, I'd ask the board, I don't know, we've never done it that way, but.
I think there was like a 1 year, when Tim McCauley was president and we had the meeting in here, he tried to get it and no one who ran wanted to stand up and say anything.
Fair about
Probably.
One nice thing is now we have a camera and a video system, we could invite them in one at a time and have a preloaded thing of questions and Tom could ask them or somebody could sit and interview each one of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the county, the county commissioner, when they get elected, or running, they were in the Rough Rider Center and you anybody can come in there and ask them a question about.
Is that something that also needs to be stated in our bylaws on how happen with the voting process?
Yeah, you'd probably have to get all of that changed in too.
But we could have, if we had a 4 to 5 o'clock before the meeting, is a meet and greet where the candidates are available to visit with anybody that wants to come in and have any questions and want to meet them. And they're able to shake their hand, visit with them, and it's done.
Yeah, I mean,
You provided the opportunity for people to come in and ask questions.
what's your guys' thoughts on that?
Like that speed date. Set up tables speed date.
I don't know, I just said I'd ask. I mean, I don't really care if we just leave it the way it is, or.
I think it's, like you say, I think it'd be a great idea. Maybe they all sit at a couple hours where they can all sit at a table and whoever wants to come can sit down and ask them questions and talk to them.
Whatever they want. If they don't show up, they don't show up. We provided the opportunity for them to be educated.
Like that.
So do we want to set a date for that?
No, just do it before the annual meeting. Just instead of, it starts at 5, just kick it out to 4.
So the meeting's at 5:30, or.
Yeah, 4 to 5:30.
4 to 5:30?
You can then, it's on the day anyway, and they just start making themselves available at that time.
I was putting them on a podium and asking them questions before the meeting starts.
The only thing would be is if a potential candidate wasn't able to get there at 4 o'clock, right?
I mean, I'll be here, I'm gonna be here, I'll be Kathy and Darlene.
I mean, does the candidate have to be there? I mean,
No.
it's in their benefit.
Trump doesn't
Be there.
show up.
I mean, they don't show up, they don't show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
All we're trying to do is provide an opportunity for them to meet the club is a forum.
Okay.
I agree.
So quick question, sorry, you said the meeting starts at 5, because Kathy didn't know the time or the place of the meeting.
Yes, she did.
She just told me this, so I'm like, I'll find out.
Yeah, it's at 5:30.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
March 26th.
March 26th. I sent a text message to her and Darlene after our meeting last week.
Okay,
Meeting from 4 to 5.
4 to 5.
So we'll just have to let the
Members know.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
Well, you might let everybody know too that the meetings are streamed now, so people they can watch it, right? So I'm sure nobody knows.
Right. Well, Lisa actually just texted me, she said you can't hear anything because of the refrigerator's making noise. Oh, the compressor's making noise.
Yeah, the compressor pretty good.
Okay, yeah, I can let her know that too.
There she is.
Okay, moving on. Thank you cards.
I did get thank you cards made, and I got all the companies and the labels, so I will be sending those out. I just wanted to make everyone. But I know that.
Okay.
I thought I had a mock-up of the picture of it, but I can't find it right now. So, yes, I do. This is what I did, if everyone wants to look at it, but that's what will be going out to the businesses and families who have supported our club this season.
Okay. Any questions or anything on that? Safe sport?
I do not have anything to report at this time.
Okay. Moving on. Coach Don.
Yes, facility, I've just been walking around here for the last number of months, I've got a few ideas I'd like to bounce off of you guys. The first is, we've had 3 different incidents with kids chipping teeth over here in the tunnels this year, preventable injury. I think part of that is access to those tunnels. I know it's something Jamie's talked about as well, but I think there's some way that we can control the access into those tunnels. So it's designed for certain times.
Outside the.
Yeah, I'm
Outside,
talking about
outside.
both down here, yeah, on the outside. Just
You're
better
talking in-
controls inside the building here.
Inside the hockey room.
Inside the.
Okay. I was thinking you were talking.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I thought the hallway area.
No, I'm talking about down here where the shooting targets are at. Some type of, I don't know, game cage, something, I don't know, to control that. Also during games and tournaments, kids always are going back into that area, shooting, etc. Creates a little bit of chaos. Is one thing to look at. The next item I had is an idea is we have, obviously, and this was brought up as well, the cages downstairs here. I'd like to suggest we have 2 rooms down there, one's the equipment room, one's the concession room. If we can move all the equipment to down in the cages down in this area and control those gates a little bit better with key access, maybe we could flip one of those rooms into a team video room. There's a lot of times we 2 teams want to do video at the same time. Might be a little bit less wear and tear in here as well. But if we could move the equipment out of those rooms into a caged area, now you've got a team video room for doing all that type of stuff in team meetings. And then just the coach's locker room needs a major cleaning. I have no idea who's got lockers in there, who doesn't. Put a request out earlier in the year to clean out all the junk. It really wasn't followed, but I think we need to get that room cleaned out, deep clean it. I'm gonna guess some of those lockers probably haven't been used by people in a while. I don't know who they're assigned to. But I just think it's time to really work on that coaches room.
Did you say you wanted to put equipment down underneath the cages down there?
Cages down here, we've got cages down there, we're not put chairs and tables in them.
Well, I think we planned on
this one, we just kind
utilizing
of
those in a
mess.
different way.
We already tried putting equipment underneath there, it's musty.
Well, we had talked to the Rough Rider about getting rid of the chair side and this side directly underneath us and turning into a seating area.
Right.
But they stashing equipment in there, if you start doing that, but if you take a look at this one directly below us, it's a prime example of what it turns out to.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we need a lock on there, it's only certain people.
But I think it's just, as far as tournaments, it's more utilized as a seating area, because they don't clog up the upstairs with their bags or when they're between games or the hallways, they have an area in there.
Right. Is there anywhere else where we can start?
There's a classroom down for the video and team meetings. There's a classroom down at the other end. I think we can just for Rough Rider Center to rent.
Okay. All right. You want me to explore that with Rough Rider?
Happy to do that.
I can see, so that equipment room, the other thing is what we're in the process is this room right below or in the exam room here. The baseball used to have that. They got 90% of their stuff out of there. I want to turn that into all the jerseys and game jerseys and stuff like that. So that gives more room in that room down there, and it might even have enough room to be able to put all the equipment because it's bigger than that.
Okay. I've not seen this one.
It's same as our skate shark.
Okay.
So yes, that's what I'm trying to get. So the game jerseys, the practice jerseys, that everything that gets returned to us that we own needs to go into that, so people can't just go in and grab stuff, like or jerseys and stuff like that because they're expensive. So right now I'm building pipe to hang all the jerseys on. It's 15-foot long. Right now I'm going to start with one rack, but there's room to put 2 racks there on top of each other. I honestly think you can get all the jerseys on one rack on 50 all the way across there. Plus, there's room in there that we can put some of this new equipment that we purchased for try hockey 3 and stuff that needs to, there's gonna be room down to be able to utilize that. A lot of times we use that room this year for the Winter Classic to put all the sweatshirts and stuff in there because none of our keys will work from that as a board, you know. So.
If you can keep in mind as you're doing that, I mean, that's additional room for video.
Yeah, so I'm hoping, you know, if we can get that room more cleaned out, maybe we can
Make that.
make that possible. Use that.
What, the training room, or the old training room?
It's not very big, but
Still using that concession up there.
No, that's quick, that's just wild.
okay.
March ice usage, with the season coming down, sending out schedules week by week. Here's the upcoming week. I'll keep doing this through the end of March. I'd like to keep utilizing the ice as much as possible. I've asked coaches if they want ice. Only a few have jumped on that. So I'm throwing in this upcoming week 4 and 4 full ice for Squirt B1 and Pee-wees, plus girls, older girls, men's, junior gold and bantams. 4 and 4 full ice is a lot of fun, gives you a little more time and space out there to work on things. The players enjoy it. I know a lot of NHL and collegiate players play a lot of 4 and 4 season as well. So hopefully we'll get people showing up and dropping in for that. Squirt Red still has a trip to Esteban, as does 10U coming up. Beyond that, I have next on here. Actually, let's stick with this. Lori's working on the registration for spring training, performance training, which will be heavy. Dave, you'll love this. 90% skating. Twice a week for all age groups, a couple age groups combined, 2 sessions per week. I'll run every single one of those sessions. Tim will be out there. I've got some select number of head coaches that will be joining as well. That will launch on April 8th and go for 6 weeks. Lori is working on the registration for that. Mike's up, the cost is $250 per player. LPA is $120 per player. It's obviously the first year we're doing this, doing a guess on how many kids will enroll. We'll see, we'll find out. I don't have a good measuring stick for that. I know a lot of kids do Warrior and other things and other sports, but we're never gonna know unless we try. So it comes down to $20 an hour or $10 for the littlest kids. I'm hoping we have good numbers for it, and a bunch of our players want to take advantage of 6 weeks of skating. We'll have a little bit of fun at the end. I've also created a sheet here I'll pass around, which is everything that I'm aware of going on through spring, summer, fall, all the way up to tryouts next year. Just at a high level, it's got the figure skaters are going to have Hanson for a week here. So we got Boilers performance training after that. I've got Mario and the other camps listed in here. By the way, in the last meeting I had with the Rough Riders, Mario does an office component. We talked about this. The field office is not available for that. I don't know if anyone wants to pass it on to him.
When I tried to book it, when they told me.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
When he called.
So we got as well planet hockey coming in, goal rubber. I'd like to do some more 4 and 4 league type stuff, snow cone league. I don't know what Walker is. Does anybody?
Never heard of it.
Where's that? Where'd you see that at?
I got that off of somewhere, some piece of data somewhere. Actually, I think it might have been the RRC that mentioned Walker or something. Someone did, I don't know what it is. I don't know, is that the skating person that Tori had last year?
That's the.
That's where in Waterford. September 6th and 7th.
Tori
Fourth
was
summer.
there.
Other race treks, like 2 weeks.
Can I scratch it? If no one knows what
No,
it is?
that's Warren, Those are the days
Ward,
that
well, Ward and
Walker.
Watford is there.
I don't know where this Walker, I don't know where this Walker is right now, I have no idea.
But tracks is usually end of September.
Yeah, I've not seen any dates in regards to trucks yet.
I haven't talked to anyone from
And then I would like to start our preseason, September 9th, which is the following week after Labor Day, and run it all the way up to tryouts. 3 times per week for the older groups, twice a week for the younger groups. Give kids a lot of ice time, just another 6 weeks leading into the season.
Official start date of September, right?
No, so preseason, which would be a separate camp type thing. To be determined on the cost. I'd like to see how the cost goes for this preseason thing, if we get pushback on that, enrollment, et cetera, and then make a decision on the cost for another Oilers performance training period prior to the season starting. Obviously, we have catch up in regards to skating and skills to do collectively as a club, and the only way we're going to do that is getting these kids on the ice more. Below that, there's some additional things. I want to do a couple of days with coaches on the ice, which is train the trainer. Tim wants to work in small groups on shooting, which I think he'd be outstanding at. My friend Mikhail Yakubov and Jackson Frazier were trying to work out dates for a camp as well. Second train the trainer, I'd like to get goal robber in here. Some additional LTP. Band checking clinic, which would probably be October timeframe, and the battle camp as well. So lots of hockey. Questions on that at all? I think the last thing that I had here, no, I got 2 other items. And I don't, this is just something that was brought up to me on Sunday. The Mites went to this USA Hockey sanctioned event over the weekend, and I was not made aware in advance of 2 players that were added to the roster for that, and they were never added to the roster officially for that event. One being Jeter Johns, and the other one being Brady. We ended up dominating the event by 15, 20 goals per event. Parents were upset. Word spread, I guess, at the event that Brady plays sports, and other teams were accusing us of being cheaters, etc. I asked Brody why I was not informed of it. He said he didn't think he needed to inform me of that. I asked Lori if they were requested to be added to the roster, they were not added to the roster. I just think it's important in the future. I mean, it's a USA sanctioned event. I don't know what type of consequences there are for that. Not like the sanctioned roster. But I thought it was due diligence to bring it up to you guys. So let you guys decide what you want.
So, technically, what I can tell you, there was no way that was a sanctioned event because USA Hockey doesn't let AU.
It says on their website it's sanctioned.
Yeah, but their USA Hockey doesn't let AU play points.
Okay.
You know, and
That's good consideration.
This must be something new because they've never been USA sanctioned down there.
Yeah, you know what, it does say on their website it's sanctioned. It does say.
It might be, I'm not sure, but.
Listen, I'm not.
yeah, I mean,
I'm just making you guys aware of it, all right? That's all. I think that's my responsibility to do on my role. And what you guys decide you want to do with that, or
Well,
it's up to you.
you feel that phone calls from upset parents, or there's upset parents, I assume, because
Did they go through the policy and procedure, I wonder?
I heard about it from parents. So,
I think I would have started by having that parent maybe talk to the coach and see what's going on. And, I mean, that's kind of our policy and procedures. I don't think we follow very well as a club anymore. We work so hard on coming up with all these new policies and procedures we don't follow.
But we can't just be having people being.
No, I know, but let's step one. Let's step
Right,
one.
I know,
I was made aware of it after the fact. So the weekend it ended by the time I was made aware of it.
And did anyone watching the tournament reach out to you? Or?
No one threw stuff at me from the tournament, no.
I mean, if we're winning, and I don't really care what scores. I don't care if we win or not. 15-1 in the Jamborees, nothing. We go over to Miles City and beat them 26-1. We had Colton and Cruz on the team. Colton would have 10 goals. Nobody was complaining about that back in the day. Or that was just 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So I don't know what all the complaints were. It was just one parent. I have no idea. But I think if that one parent or two parents had an issue, they probably should have brought it up to the coach first. And why are these kids on there? And hopefully that coach would have been able to tell them, yes, this is not a sanctioned event, or it is a sanctioned event. If it wasn't a sanctioned event, then you put them on the roster. I mean, they're 8, they're under 8. They're not taking anybody's spot. I don't know if it's a sanctioned event. They're really truly.
Yeah, I looked at our website. It listed as a sanctioned event.
And it would have
According
been
to their website. I'm sorry.
It would have been half ice.
I didn't hear
It would have been a half ice, because 8U is half ice.
you. Yeah. Oh,
I don't-
only go by what I saw on their website.
To me, it doesn't, the sanction deal doesn't bother me. I guess the only thing that, I haven't heard, I haven't talked to anybody, I don't know anybody, but my perception is that there's parents out there that were upset because their kid maybe didn't get as much ice time because we have 2 other kids, and why are they playing when we're winning 15-1 or?
Well, I watched it because my kid was playing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 2 lines, it was 10 kids. They're just it's not like Brady was out there playing forward and going and scoring 10 goals. He's playing defense and letting these other kids play and learn. And I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I'm just saying it wasn't Brady show going up and down the ice. That's what people are thinking.
Well, that's what
But if you're going
Tom needs
as
to know
the
that too.
Whopper City Oilers, it should have just stuck with their roster, like the roster that they had.
You didn't have enough.
You didn't have enough players. You had like 8 players. So
You needed 2
full ice. You need to play full ice. I'm just saying, if it wasn't a sanctioned event, I wouldn't even thought twice about it. And I probably wouldn't let Tom know myself. But this is not a sanctioned event. Every time we go down there, there's AAA teams playing. Last time we were down there, we had Williston combine both their teams, and they played us down there, and we lost to them. So I don't know.
But that wasn't through their club, though. That was their team that they put together. That wasn't they didn't come down as a Wilson, whatever.
No,
flyer
and that's the
thing.
thing.
Technically, Watford should go down as if it's a
Watford
section tournament, they should go down as a
Yeah,
Watford
that
side.
We should. That's the
Yeah.
I think we
He's
did.
our affiliate.
Yeah.
So then we could be in trouble, with the
Right,
state.
that's what I'm saying. Wilson didn't go down as the Wilson players. They had their own team put together. So, but they went
I
down
think
as
they
Whopper
did
City
go
Oilers.
down as Williston. I mean, they're down as Williston.
Well,
We sent teams down, they had the gray uniforms, I think. It was-
Yeah.
Lee Jackson
We
went
just
to
said
that
Watford
one.
City, but it wasn't our
Yes. Cameron
club.
was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We took the top.
It's at Watford. It's in St. Oilers, aren't it?
Kids,
No.
yeah.
No, they wouldn't let us.
We took the top tier kids,
I think the big thing here, guys, is we just gotta be careful, like that situation right there. If it was sanctioned, it's sanctioned, okay? Technically, them boys cannot be on that because of the roster situation. But the other thing is we can't be going down there then, if it's a sanctioned tournament, and playing in an 8U full ice, because that's against USA hockey rules. That's how we'll get in trouble through the
Well, and
USA.
technically, if we're going over to South Dakota, it should have been approved by the state first to go anyway, if it's sanctioned. We had to get approval from the state register and go, because it's not in our district.
They're northern plains. We're in-
Oh, are they on their
Yes,
plans?
they're in our
Okay,
district.
so then that would be fine.
So now, like when we host all these tournaments, is someone checking all the Canadian teams to make sure they're totally registered under Canada? Because you can't allow a team that isn't registered or totally in compliance to come to your tournament. Your penalty is if they catch you, you don't get a tournament for a whole year.
They're supposed to be submitting this to their Hockey Canada.
So, but that's part of it.
Yeah, he's been good collecting rosters. Certified rosters from the Canadian.
But I think, going back to moving kids, anybody that's moved up or down should probably be ran through our hockey director.
Where is that documented, that should be done?
I'm just saying, I'm making a statement, that's my opinion, I wasn't saying it's not. I'm just saying, if we're gonna move kids up or down in a level within our club, that we should probably run it by a hockey director.
If it's a sanctioned event.
Yeah, well, if it's involves the Oilers.
Yeah, I think it will.
But I'm saying if it's a sanctioned, if it's
I
a,
just like to be aware of it, yeah.
but if it's a non-sanctioned, I mean, any dad from a team could just form a team and go play in Minneapolis.
But then they shouldn't be using our.
But they shouldn't, you can't use our jersey because now your insurance is completely, we can't insure them. USA Hockey can't insure them because it's not a sanctioned term. So they have to have their own insurance, they have to have and if they want, I remember, Andy, when our kids went, we signed a waiver form from the coach that took our kids down, and we signed a waiver form to say, hey, they are not reliable, that we're full responsible. Because, I think it's a learning thing that we just need to, but we gotta realize that if we send teams down to that again, and they're gonna play full ice, they technically need to play in the next division down, because the other team played half ice.
Yeah, they did.
You see what I'm saying? To abide by the law and the rules of USA Hockey, we cannot have Mike's playing full ice.
So are we not doing our due diligence as far as when we're sending people to tournaments and letting people go? Are we not making sure that we have it, or we're not?
Yeah, honestly,
is there a form that we should fill out to make sure that we're following the correct process?
Honestly, I forgot.
We did.
Okay.
I didn't even know they went to the tournament, so.
I didn't know until Sunday.
But I would like.
I mean, this was brought, I think this one tournament was brought up in the beginning of the season, didn't it?
Yeah, it's
Earlier
We've been going there for years.
last weekend, it's just not.
Well, I got told me when we paid, the parents paid.
I don't remember paying for it.
But we played
Yeah,
full
I
ice,
saw it.
they went to
Yeah,
full
yeah,
ice
yeah.
in Saskatchewan, right, and they got a travel permit for it.
I got travel permit for everyone going into Canada,
So the Mites that went, who played full ice, got a travel permit from our state registrar. So how is that different from going to South Dakota and playing full ice on that side of things?
Yeah, I don't.
If I recall correctly, Mike's are allowed to play like one full ice.
So when Canada comes here, they follow USA Hockey guidelines.
Yeah, there's an agreement.
For sure.
They don't have to run off cards, they don't have to run at cards. So that, but other than that, they have to follow our state mandate.
They have rules, right.
So like penalty minutes and checking, not checking.
Yeah, all that,
Yes.
They don't play under the USA Hockey rules other than their own.
Well, it's gonna change next year anyways, right?
Well, next year, we're gonna all be wearing lacerated equipment, all our stuff that prevents lacerations. It'll be
Yes, that was one thing I said to my
Yeah.
house.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I think we could keep going, but I think as a board and as the hockey director, we just gotta make sure that we're looking at it. If they're going to play full ice, technically, we just gotta know is this a full ice jamboree? It's sanctioned?
And we should
I don't know how they get it,
it.
Dave, I wanna know, how could they get that sanction, a full ice EU?
Yeah. That half ice one might be.
Yep.
But not full ice one. So.
It's just something to be aware of, and we need to just make sure that
We gotta get way better, and I guess
I kind of slipped through the cracks.
my observation is this club has, potentially one thing, or especially inside of this room, one potential consistency, and that's gonna be our hockey director, right? So, board members change every 2 years, and I think the hockey director has to be our tool to consistent, if this happens, or if something happens, we have to be able to not blame somebody, but it's gotta be somebody's fault. Somebody has, we have to rely on somebody, and that, I think, ultimately has to be the director. So the more we can communicate, the more our director learns the rules, the better opportunity we have to run a better organization.
I mean, yeah,
they
No,
play
they play
Three-quarter.
three-quarter.
So I think USA Hockey allows three-quarter.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
It's after a certain point in the year, they will allow you to lengthen your sheet ice.
I'm just trying to make sure, because if we
They never let you go to full ice. USA Hockey.
I will figure out exactly what they allow and don't allow and educate myself on that.
Okay.
Last item that I had, is there anything in particular that you're looking for from my piece of the annual meeting? Or just my thoughts?
Yeah. Just a summary of the season, maybe?
Summary of season planning on that, anything else, recommendations in regards to that, and how much time should I allow?
Maybe what your plan, obviously,
Summary.
Obviously, that stuff, all that is included in there. I've got some data that I want to present as well. I want to talk about what my thoughts are in regards to observations, planning. If there's anything else that you guys can think of, and also how much time do I have?
Try to keep it short and sweet.
Yeah.
Like short and sweet, do you want 10 minutes? Do you want?
I'm probably saying no more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We need to keep our coach and staff to 5 minutes.
5 minutes. That's
Some way.
Yeah, I mean, because you get through half
I
the
know.
people are just like,
Absolutely.
And everybody says we're gonna be short and sweet, it's like 10 minutes.
I do short and sweet real quick. I move through presentations rapidly. I'll be also beginning meetings next week with all the head coaches and teams in regards to going through their teams and conversations that I need to have with those guys. So that's next week. That's all I have.
okay,
Thanks, Tom.
moving on to fundraising, gaming sponsorship, back wall advertisement.
Oh, sorry. When I talked to Sarah, Josh, and yes, it was in the meeting minutes from last month, so I don't know how we advance that, so like you might wait a whole month to get stuff done potentially. Which would be a different topic, but what they're looking for when we go to get our new banners, that I know Lisa, I think she the other day, is working on rough iron and quotes for different styles and whatever. When they go to hang them from the ceiling, which she said they would do for us, they want kind of like a design of the back walls. Yeah, like how, like, is it gonna be a 4x8, and how many can we put, so we essentially need to get some sort of like dimensions, right, to fit around, like how much space and gap between them, how many per each side of the walls that we want to use, so we can see the design and improve us to do. She said they don't have an issue doing it, but they want it to look like neat and uniform.
I think we should do a committee, and then we can, you know, then I can go and take it to them and say, here you go, here's our design, here's our plan, you know, will you approve this or not approve
Would
it?
that fall under our already fundraising committee? Essentially, could they ever advertise this? You guys do the advertising too? Like, if you're doing a dashboard for everything, just not.
We can do it. Fundraising can do it, yes.
I mean, Andy's on the fundraising committee. There's, you know,
The first step, guys, we need is, and there's somehow somebody can get dimensions of both sides, work around the scoreboard and the names and that stuff. And then figure out just like almost like a CAD drawing. Can you say what that, but that's my example.
so I was looking at, because Lisa was asking me about like these banners, you know, how far do we want to bring them this with, you know? And so last night I was looking at that and I was thinking, man, what about we ran a cable? I was thinking a cable all the way across, all the way to one end of the, about right where, you know, these cross members in front of the fence, you know, right there. Is that too close?
I think that might be too close.
Good for advertising. I've seen it, it looks really nice.
I mean, I was kind of trying to look at it last night when I was walking up and down, kind of like, you know, like I said, a lot of times people when they walk in, when you're up here, that looks really good. Because when you walk into the arena, they be boom, right there, you know?
Well, that's the aspect. I don't know how big she's gonna get them. I mean, I would assume they're gonna be on the bigger side for visibility. And
But being that closer, you know, they don't have to be, you know.
Yeah.
But
You
the
can
other,
almost, you
If
can
you
almost
keep adding more and more,
Yes.
my idea was kind of go like.
Stagger.
Stagger.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking, too, if you just stagger them, kind of like zigzag, you can fit more. And it'll still be like, you'll be able to see them all too.
Yeah, because when you're looking from this end.
because I don't think we wanna get out in the light, you know. We wanna be on this side, so now it's thinking, well, you run it, you know, right where the vent is, the whole pipe of the vent. You know, I think what's gonna have to happen is you're gonna have to hang one up there.
I think looks wise, staggering is your best option, straight across, but it'll.
I mean, like, what you do is you run two cables. So you keep it staggered, you know, you run one here, you run one there, and then you move.
Yeah, if you get more than the two, then
The other thing she was asking him about, so all those are old logo. I think we should keep the old logo for our old ones that we teams. The new logo goes on the new, when that got approved for the new teams.
What do you, what are you gonna put, like, is there like they have to get first, or they have to get first or second or third for their banners to go up there, or what's the?
First and runner up, I think.
Yeah.
So are we hanging them all? Yeah, like you just said, are we hanging them all up
yeah.
there? Like third place? Do we have fifth place?
Well, no, those are we're redoing all of them. Like from start, so they're all the same style, and then
And then we'll just
different logo for old versus new. But you can do the same, I mean, the colors haven't changed, right? The
No.
lettering will all be the same. As far as championship and run-up,
I know I think.
I would prefer white background and black lettering, red outline or red lettering and black, just I think the white is more visible rather than black.
Fourth place is like.
Well, if you put advertising in that, well,
Yeah.
We should take like raise out there somehow and look at, you know, just try to get an idea of what that or this or that like that.
yeah.
Because the thing is, we can't, I know they're layouts.
I know like you go to dine.
They're almost gonna have to be where the
Yeah.
Does this look good though?
Right.
because they can't,
It's just a scissor lift.
yeah.
It's, yeah, they're from front wall. Yeah. Basically, they run from glass to glass.
This, I mean, it's definitely a decision that, you know, is going to last, right? I mean, whatever decision we made, and hopefully it's a good decision, so that the board 5 years down the road isn't changing it, so I'll admit that I'm the last person you want involved in making that decision, so maybe we do need to
I
get
think
it out
we've been
with
wanting to
some,
hang up for
some
a
more
couple years, we
artistic.
just haven't.
Well, there is new big banners.
Yeah, Heidi had some made last year, and they've been there for a long
We don't. We need some.
No,
time. I haven't seen them.
no.
I know that they've been sitting down there for a while.
I just like that. Just straight up.
And the advertising right here.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. Cause then you can have your soundboards, your soundboards included. That's what Moorhead has a ring, they've got their advertising hanging from the rafters.
Oh, I do like that.
That's pretty sweet. And it looks clean.
Yeah, and we're still trying to talk about including the soundboard.
Yeah. Actually paid for the soundboards.
Yeah, that was part of it, and that's why she said she put it at the wayside, because it wasn't in the meeting, because even though we had it in the meeting last month.
I know Matt Beers, he's on city council and he's been working on these soundboards, and I think it ended up, it came back, they got a quote, don't quote me, but I thought he said it was like $20,000-$30,000 for like.
Oh, yeah, we did
Sarah
this
told us 17, right?
70,000.
Hang on.
For the soundboards.
That's what you just sell advertising
That's right, and then, because you could use soundboards for your back wall too, and advertise on those soundboards.
Tell you what, coaching out there without the sound, it's hard to shit out of that range. So That one's not bad, this one's horrible.
I know,
I mean, I can across the ice, and that's Scott telling, he's got a pretty booming voice, and I can't hear what he's saying.
So I think, let's keep working on that, because I'd like to see that in June if there's no ice.
That's
We're
kind of what.
boom, boom, this is
So
all in
Lisa's working
place.
on our design there right now.
Lisa's got our deal with Rough Rider, quoting out different styles of banners.
I think she's gonna bring in some different mock-ups and we can choose.
That's what she's told me, yesterday, the first week of the month, come back for those lineups, and she, I would say first and second place only.
I think that's what we,
If there is third, fifth, whatever.
Does the Rough Rider want to see something in our minutes? Was this?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have it, I believe we have it in our last meeting.
I don't know, I think we talked, like, we discussed it, but we said it was like so expensive, so I didn't,
So,
I can put it here though.
Yeah, they wanna see their minutes because they have a quote for soundboards. And they wanna make sure all of those are getting said soundboards. And then they're gonna talk to maybe they have type of situations where she wanted to be met with her guys, Josh left. At that point, she looking on his request, it's all good and dandy, like I just sent her a picture of the cage area, and I sent her a testimonial about the sound, did everything she asked me to do, and now it's like, hit the brakes, we will have to hold it on the meeting.
So we make a motion to pursue the acquisition of soundboards for our arena.
I have a motion, do I have a second? I have a second.
You wanna write that down for me? Luke motion?
To pursue the acquisition of soundboards for the arena.
Yeah, so you can sell it.
And then Corey second.
Yep.
Do you want both? Both sides?
For me,
Yeah.
Yeah, you want, let's do it, if we're gonna get a chance, let's do it, let's go after it.
Probably a fight to have this right then.
we talked about all around the subject, we talked about the 2 cages getting emptied out, chain links down, Sarah was like, all about it, keep the chain link, sent you the photo Andy had of the benches and the flooring extended the base. I don't know if we officially.
It's just like the farm over green, right, just nice painted full benches, just to eliminate that. I mean, what is them, everything that we can get rid of now?
Well, they're old jerseys and stuff like that, honestly, they should be just taking them to their annual meeting, and,
Whoever doesn't, wants them, have them, whatever leftovers, to us.
I mean, there's some that I know we use for when we send our mites to Miles City, you know, some of that.
We can keep them smaller
Keep
ones, but
small
then older,
ones,
but bigger ones.
I mean,
Sell them for $10.
They're, no, give them more, do it. Give them 2 jerseys.
2 for $10.
We can, plus you got, you're gonna have room
Goddamn.
other, right?
We're looking at maybe get like seating for like
Yes.
kids.
Seating, we need that extended flooring, right, moving out to the base of the bleachers on both those cages. We're gonna sell the chairs because they don't want them, right? And then she says,
That's great for us.
they don't want them at the angle because they don't match. So that's what she said. So we're gonna auction them. I don't have any use for it, like those are just sitting there for nothing.
They said they tried to give them to the fairgrounds, but the fairgrounds didn't want them because they were the wrong color.
That's pretty much.
So,
In the city, they got some.
same black.
They're gonna reutilize the chain link, but
Can we
we
use
just have to
those?
show.
What are those? Oh, those are benches?
That's what we wanna do, yeah.
Oh, that's what we wanna do, I thought
Yeah.
those were the records, so like, we can
So
talk.
you have to, I don't know where you got that rubber stuff too.
I got it through rubber flooring. They send me every 2 days an email. On sale this week, 20% off.
I don't know if you could want to match the gray down there and then just.
Try to match the grade, but I go with a little thicker than the stuff I did. No, over there.
Sure.
So it stays in place. Okay.
No purpose of chain link, we just have to get rid of, like, figure skating, yeah, just wrap
They
it.
need a motion on that too?
That's what I'm saying, if we want it done.
We just need to have it, that we all agree, and then we can go pursue, so.
So I'll make a motion that we pursue removing the chain link, adding benches and rubber flooring underneath the bleachers.
Second.
Have a motion and I have a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on.
You did that, right?
Yeah. Andy was the second. Gun raffle update.
So I just turned in the rest of the money. I'm still going through it. I mean, we did decent. But then again, I I had one parent tell me that they didn't sell any tickets, but they threw them away. So I don't have those tickets. I connect two families. One family actually isn't playing, I don't think anymore, but there's two other families that I haven't gotten books back for. So I don't have those. Otherwise, everything's turned in. I'm still coming up short. But then, like, thing doesn't really make a lot of sense either. So I have to go through and re-add stuff too. So I'm still working on that, and I'll just send it over to you when I'm done. But
You have to tell the end of the board.
okay. But I mean, if the it's been over a while, I mean, I think when you add that in, I think it's close to like 22, 23.
And gun raffles always the same.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't cost us anything, right? Yeah, all the.
We did majority, half of them were sponsored, so it cost us.
Yeah. So I mean, decent. It's good raffle.
Okay. Most tickets sold.
Oh, so Andy, you said you were going to do the.
Yep, you just gotta give me the name and I'll make arrangements. with
Yep,
the
so it's Ewing, and then I will get you his contact
Yeah,
information.
You get to pick his own stick.
He does.
And they sold $1,700 worth
Really?
Who did?
of tickets. Is it Chase and Ewing or Cheston Ewing? I have it wrote down. I might, but like, there was a couple kids, Cooper, he was like second, and there was another kid that sold shops for same amount as Cooper. I mean, they did a lot of work selling tickets, so they did a great job.
Okay.
George did a lot of work everywhere from senior kids hours, they were like.
Yeah, they do.
700 hours, they're very helpful.
Shops too.
Concessions, dibs. Electrical.
Oh yeah, so did you guys see that we forgot to go over that? I don't know really what that's about, I guess. I didn't know if that's something that Kathy.
I think so, if I
brought to the
remember right,
attention.
they were kicking stuff out and it wasn't working.
I know that we were blowing breakers and stuff. I kind of thought that was fixed, but.
It's that strip on the side.
No,
by the window
what they
there.
did is they kind of tried to divide it, the Rough Rider Center did. But really what she wants, if she wants to get an electrician in here, to put electrical outlets, so they're separated on their own breakers, so when we're running all the crock pots and all that stuff, it's not on a power strip that technically shouldn't.
That was at Indian River.
Yeah.
No quote.
Indian Hill.
$400, didn't it?
No, no.
$2,000, $2,300, anything.
Yeah.
Have we got any other, I mean, have we thought
I think that's
about
just-
using somebody that helps sponsor, like Calstead or something?
Yeah, the Rough Rider Center. is what
It's
that's-
a prime contract, they have to be either approved through the Rough Rider Center or something.
Yeah, because that's who they use, Indian Hills,
That's what I figured.
so.
Cause, yeah, originally it was set from Sarah.
The only time I've been able to get like Jamie is when Indian Hills can't get here, and when we got our compressor down, and we blew the motor and stuff. Yeah, I can't get there, and then she'll like, well, you can call Jamie, you know, it's the box, you know. So do we want, you want me to pursue that for the electrical, keep trying to get them to come and redo that electrical in there before next season?
I think so.
I move to approve $2,500 bill.
Okay.
250245.
Indian Hill Electric quote.
Have a motion, do I have a second? I have a second by Corey, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Tournament, special events. Don't have anything, annual meeting, March 26th at 5:30.
Moved up before that, right?
4 for the candidate, yeah, so we'll send that out at 4 o'clock. Okay, moving on to equipment. Duffy's bulk order that Jamie presented.
Yeah. Last time I was in, I was just talking to Duffy about the neck guards thing, and if they were gonna have like a mass amount, because it's gonna be a fleet to get them all, right? Especially around here. And he was preemptively working on getting bulk orders in for like early spring and then a fall, and he said if we as a club wanted to get with him to get a bulk order in, we wouldn't purchase, we would sell basically for him, so that way it was here and people didn't have to book it or run off electronic, a bulk supply to then sell.
And then we would cut in the check.
I would think that's what that was very brief. I just wanted to present it because this is next year everything's gotta happen, so.
Right.
I want to be ahead of it. Yeah, I want to get ahead of it to make sure that we have that as options there before people start selling it. And I think it's a good idea.
It's not, is it just the shirts, or is it gonna be just the,
Yeah,
mixture of?
Like they're coming out with those like thinner shirts.
Yep.
That have and that's kind of what I was. Because those other ones have been.
Well, just the strap ones, I mean, you're gonna have a few of those too.
Yeah, we can.
Those are gonna be cheap, and some people prefer.
When we played in Minot, Corey, our last quarter, he said he had 800 on order that was supposed to be coming that week, and then he had an order coming, 800 more coming in the spring, and then he had another 800 coming in summertime. He was.
Is he doing the same thing with pants? Is he doing the bottoms too?
He just was doing the tops.
Is that hurts?
But I mean, we can talk to them and give more specific detail on it as long as it's not costing us anything.
Sounds like you're the man for a project.
You'll take care of the inventory and all that.
Nah, it sounds
That's Katie.
That's Katie.
Well, there's a situation where you probably just have a couple hanging up here to show people, and you have that in that room down there with the jerseys that's locked up.
That's the only, I mean, that, you say it won't cost us anything, but it could potentially cost us something.
Well, I wouldn't over order.
Well, I'm sure he'll take them back, but what I'm worried about is, say, if, you know,
That's the walk off.
yeah, if we get 400 and we have 200 left, but only sold 100, he's gonna wanna collect money for 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he said they were gonna be, I can't remember, 60, 70 bucks to do something.
Well, and we have a, theoretically, she should have the jersey sizes for the rosters, right? She does.
It's on the Dropbox.
So, if you go by that, you can get a general idea of how many each size.
You would have to actually have a little smaller jersey size.
Well, right, but,
Yeah.
okay,
Moving on to Edger.
I just put in there because of Jared's email. Jared's email?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did that say again? You thought we needed an edger?
He wants electric Edger.
You pay for it?
He's
City,
Oh, yeah, the city would.
talked about it.
Proposal, third proposal
Yeah.
together.
he would say the rough right away line is because for their things, they use how that curve worked out.
I don't.
I think Tim and I were just talking one day, that they could use it more, you know, throughout the tournament weekends without gassing up the place, you know, more than before, so if they plan on using it more, I guess.
And I talked to Jared. Sounds like he wants essentially another thing, like, okay, let's now, we just have to give that information to Sarah, and then she can present it to the city.
I think we'll table that and let me get some prices, you know, before we even decide, you know.
On this point,
Yeah, let's table that to the next meeting. I'll get some quotes from R&R Specialty to, what's the other ring place?
Why don't we make Jared get the quotes? He's probably willing to do it.
So, okay?
I know I didn't get it on the agenda, but we should get the user agreement passed. She said she wanted that passed, so you know it to us for review. I think we should, we've kicked this thing down the road forever. And it's in a good spot now that I think we can prove it. I didn't think of it until she was sitting right here and we were.
Yeah, I mean, they made the changes that.
Yeah, literally there was like 5 little tiny changes, like grammatical changes. And so.
Who has an official copy?
I haven't read it, so.
It's very similar to the other one, other than we have to have, the exam drivers have to be trained, and there is, the one highlight I would put is there is no alcohol permitted shall not permit any alcohol at any of its activities without submitting an alcohol approval agreement and receive approval from the Water City PD. And that's also like the, that would include the alumni game, you sit in the locker rooms, that's got stuff.
Are they gonna do it for the, curling?
No, they haven't.
They have a permit. So that's where, in the discussion, it needs to be just crystal clear. And I can't argue with them.
Yeah.
It's just gotta be, if it's not sold through that alcohol improvement agreement, that should be in here, period. So that's one thing I would say is in there. And the rest is pretty reasonable. I know nothing crazy. The rates are what we've had, and there is an exam training checklist. So, yeah. I think we met on this like 4 times.
Yeah, and it was just back and forth between the park board.
There is gonna be an addendum coming, and that's gonna be the equipment replacement. They are working on what they're thinking, or what the total expense is gonna be, and then we can have, there should be a conversation of what the percent the club needs to do. Obviously, it needs to be, it can't be 0, but it can't be 30,000 a year either. So it can't break us. And that was fine with them. So they're just putting the numbers together on it, and it's coming, but it's not included in this.
But
And then will that be on the new agreement, because we sign one every year, right? This is a yearly agreement, so what's that?
So we've been just working off last year's agreement.
Right.
Until both parties come to an agreement.
I'm not sure if it's gonna come for the next agreement or not.
Okay.
I'm assuming it would just become as an addendum. So
Okay.
whenever they get it done, whether it's just an additional document that supplements this stuff. But it's something that Sarah is asking us to get it done, and I would agree that it's a good idea.
We waited this long, you don't wanna wait to get their addendum and then we can have it all in this one agreement?
I think they're waiting on Simcoe, they happen, they did a cost and stuff, and I have a feeling maybe we'll get that and come out for the compressor shutdown. and check over and everything, and oil changes and all that stuff.
He's been waiting.
Because I think because it goes off of hours, you know, how many hours is the compressor run, you know, after so many hours, that's when they're done. You know.
Because the first conversation we had with them, there was money, they were going out and they went replacement stuff. And I was like, I showed them our budget and I'm like, we're broke. And they're like, all right, we'll give you a year. And then we came back around and then they didn't have that on the table, so they just taken care of the agreement. So I think that's the thing.
Do I have a motion to sign the user agreement with the Prayer Center?
I think that one.
Do I have a second? I have a second for Sam. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And I have one other thing on the DIBS spreadsheet that you sent out. All the hours.
Yeah.
There's one on here, because on camera I don't want to say the name, but there's a family hardship. And
Yeah.
I think we should just,
Okay. And then also, I did talk to Nicole, and she said there are families who stepped up to work this weekend, so she's gonna send a new one out. But I know we were talking about it, and I agree with her.
Yeah, there's
And then I see that was first year. That was marked. Is that only first year, like, younger kids, or is that?
First families. Families, so if they're like brand new to the club.
It don't matter if he's a Pee-wee or.
No, it doesn't, he's the
Okay.
first year.
That's what I seen, there was one on there.
Oh, okay, yeah, you just don't know.
Okay. Do we have a motion to, our next meeting date, I guess, next meeting?
March 26th.
I think we'll meet after that.
That's for the new board members, isn't it?
Because the new board members, we have a meeting that night to realign our board. On the 26th, that'll happen, so maybe.
You wanna set the next meeting date then?
That's you know, so because the new ones might. Summertime, we can change it now, because we aren't coaching, we aren't got things going on. I mean, maybe it's Monday nights or Wednesday nights or, you know, things like that, or Tuesday.
That first week of April, I'm just trying.
Okay. So, I was thinking probably somewhere the 2nd of April, you know, kind of let them get their feet wet, you know, reading, you know, on the policies, procedures, you know, things like that. So, okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn? I have a motion. Do you have a second?
Everybody's notes are in the bottom of this
That's all in mine.
agenda file.
That's mine.
I don't know. I need to go to the list.
Wait, who's second that, sorry?
Like,
Okay.
I'm trying to make a deal with it. Well, you covered my right one.
You guys don't wanna hand down the ballots again, or what?
I didn't know.
I
Didn't wanna do anything.
Yeah, and then he's out last week.
It was already booked.
Right.
Headed into the south, I got 50 text messages about, it was heading south. So,
Stay in here leave it tomorrow.
That's all.
Where are you going?
Tournament.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What time do you guys play?
I'm gonna call it Jamie and then so.
Yeah, we're heading for Minneapolis. Jump on an airline.
No, I got something about it.
So by the way, so I'm not.
Where? I was gonna call Chris and see. I think he can do it from his laptop, I don't know. It's probably off.
Well, we're not leaving till.
Hey, does that automatically go off the camera or? Yeah.
All have
Okay. Oh, okay, Chris said that he'd shut off. And then also, I got a couple text messages saying when the compressor's going, you can't hardly hear, so I don't know if there's another place we for it or not.
Yeah, so I will, I'll let you know we're headed that way.
Right, okay. Did it look okay then? Like, there was no issues?
It's all, I don't know, it might have a battery too.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Alright, thanks Chris. Bye.
Somebody should ask Chris to tell us that we're.
Chris is gonna be up here in 10 minutes and shut that off. Bye.
I've been doing that.
Tell us that.
Do you wanna grab those papers and we can kind of clean up a little bit, so much disaster? We can just get rid of them.
Yeah, just so you got, but just go and, if you can get that.
Yeah, we go.
Yeah, thank you.
What was your note on that?